Welcome to the Isolation Diaries, a collection of thoughts from a gay man and his friends. So this is day 5 of isolation. It's the 23rd of March, it's a Monday, and I'm currently recording this at 8 o'clock in the evening. It's the first time I've had time to kind of sit down today and just have a little chinwag with the world. So a little bit about me. Hello, first and foremost, my name is Lewis. I am the host of The Isolation Diaries, a collection of thoughts from a gay man and his friends. I just thought this would be like a fun idea to keep everyone updated and maybe share a bit of a laugh, you know what I mean? In these times of uncertainty, we need something to chill out, vibe with, do you know what I mean? That's why I got my lo-fi music underlying the podcast. So yeah, my name is LewisSnell. I currently study at the London College of Music. I study acting. I'm a third year student, but I'm actually from Bedfordshire, or Bedford in Bedfordshire. So yeah, so I'm currently back home in Bedford, just chilling, kind of taking time out of the city, obviously, whilst the whole pandemic's currently happening. So it's quite nice to be home. Obviously, family's here. I've got my mum here, which is really nice. I've not spent time with her for a long while. Obviously, if I live in London, you know, it's kind of stressful. So, like I said, I study acting at the London College of Music. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's nice to be home. It's really nice to be home. It's a big change. I'm so used to seeing the same people every day, and they're used to seeing me, and we're used to having the same kind of like vibes. I've not lived at home for 3 years for like a long period of time, so it's like a big change for me and my mum and her boyfriend as well. So you know, it's been quite nice. I've got to spend time with them. I got to see my brother as well, who I've not seen in a while, which is nice, and his girlfriend as well. And my dad lives in another country, so he lives in Spain at the moment, or does live in Spain, not even at the moment, like he just lives there, with his wife. So yeah, so they've kind of got it kind of wild over there. But we'll talk about my dad and what he's doing probably later on or in another podcast episode. But, you know, let me start off with telling you a little bit more about me. So things that I absolutely love to do. I love singing. I love comedy TV shows, comedy films. I love listening to music. I love going to the theatre. Oh my gosh, I love going to the theatre. Last year I went to the theatre 80-something to 83 times, which is kind of wild. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like things that I love. Oh my god, I love chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are like my family. If you can name that reference, girl, you get 10 points, or 20, or 30. You pick as many points as you want. We don't make the rules here, let's be real. You know what? Let me give you some fun facts. So, fun facts about me. I'm born on Christmas Day. So, I'm the modern day Jesus, except I can't do anything that is helpful. I have cracked my head open 5 times when I was younger. I've got the scars to prove it, and one of them looks like the Harry Potter scar, which is like my claim to fame. It was always like my book day character at school. So, yeah. So that's kind of it. I mean, it's just, you know, kind of wild. I thought I'd start this podcast because I am at home and I need things to do. I got this microphone that I'm currently talking into. It's a new microphone. I got the blue Snowball microphone. I don't know if anyone knows about that. But yeah, so I got that. I ordered it last week at uni when we found out we were going to isolation and that all of our teaching was moving online, which is kind of weird. Like I said, like I'm on an acting course, and to be going into online classes, it's really weird, but we're making it work. We're in our 3rd year, so we've found out our shows are cancelled, which is kind of sad, and we're also might not have a showcase. If you don't know what a showcase is, basically we invite loads of agents to it and we hope that we get representation. So that might not happen either, which is kind of scary, but at the same time we're going to vibe it out and it's going to be totally fine. We just got to keep positive, do you know what I mean? And that's the key thing that we've got to do. I also miss everyone at uni as well. Whether they miss me is a whole other thing, but like, hello. Let's just hope they do. And if they don't, I'm gonna force them to listen to this podcast. They will miss me. I'm joking. But yeah, I think it's really weird because, like, I was saying to my mum or my dad or something, I can't remember. I was like, it's so weird because uni is like where you show your true self, or like you truly learn who you are, and I think that's kind of like weird. I think, oh god, I sound really like stupid and hippie, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've come home and it feels so weird. I don't know, maybe because I've just got used to the London life. It's very quiet here in Bedford. I live kind of like on the outskirts of Bedford. It's kind of like the countryside. So there's loads of fresh air. Oh my gosh, and there's loads of stuff in the shops. It's kind of wild. We'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, like, I had my first online class the other day, which was kind of wild. But yeah, it was kind of fun. I've got another one on Wednesday. I've got a one-to-one with my director. Because although our shows have been cancelled, we still have to get the marks somewhere. So we're doing we have to self-submit a 10-minute video of us doing a performance from the show of our character, or if your character. So basically, we've done a show already, which was my main role. But my character that I'm doing in this play, we're doing The Good Person of Szechuan by Bertolt Brecht, adapted by Tony Kushner, and I played Mr. Shufu. Unfortunately, I think there's enough material from Mr. Shufu that I'll be able to create 10 minutes. I'm sat at my table and I feel like it keeps making sounds. If it doesn't, you're going to think, Lewis, you're talking absolute wildness. But yeah, so I've got to do a 10-minute performance, which is kind of crazy. We don't know when we're going to be back, because we got an email today saying that, like, the university is shut until further notice. So like, girl, we could be, oh my gosh, I keep hitting the table. Girl, we could be shut until September, and then I won't ever go back because I'm third year and I'm meant to graduate this year, which is kind of wild. Before I left, I got all my dissertation books out though, so I'm kind of prepped if the university is just like shut indefinitely. This lo-fi music is very vibey, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, let's move on. So, let me tell you about what I've been doing in the past 5 days. I'm in day 5 of isolation. What have I done? I've been out twice. I went to Aldi's or Lidl's, I can't remember, and they actually had food there. Like, back home in London, they had no food. But here, we have food in Bedford, which is really fun, really fresh and refreshing. So we got some food, and then I went out today. Right, now, I said I love chicken nuggets, right? Now, McDonald's closes tonight at 7 o'clock, or did close at 7 o'clock. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll be able to get some chicken nuggets, you know, live my best life, have one last hurrah, because we don't know when they're going to open up. I know it sounds very sad, but, like, I love me some chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are like my family. Girl. Do you know what I mean? I'm like King Curtis from Wife Swap. Do you remember him? Where he was like, you'll never see this face again. Do you know what I mean? I like chicken nuggets as much as him. And bacon. I kind of like bacon too. So yeah, where was I even going with this? I told you it's to be a collection of thoughts. Girl, I don't even know what I'm talking about. McDonald's, right? So, I was going to go out tonight and get McDonald's. We got to the interchange where the McDonald's is. They've also got a Burger King and a KFC there. And McDonald's had like a 40-car queue. So I was like to Mum, Mum, you know what? I love McDonald's, but girl, let's just go get KFC. So I got some chicken and I got myself, you know, a large meal. That's the sound of me trying to get the last bits of Pepsi out of this drink, which is practically all gone. So that's kind of been what I've been up to. I've not left the house, which I never thought I'd be able to do, but like, girl, we're living it. So yeah, so things that I've watched. What have I watched? You know what I did watch last night? I watched Paris is Burning. If you've got a Netflix account, I know that it's definitely here in the UK. I don't know where I'm thinking this is going to reach, but I'll talk as if people from other countries could possibly listen to this. So I watched Paris is Burning, which is like an LGBTQ documentary drama, which looks at the balls, like the voguing balls from Harlem in the 80s. Really cool. It was absolutely sickening. I would definitely recommend going and watching it, because it kind of influenced Pose. If any of you have seen that TV drama kind of like show, it's called Pose. Billy Porter's in it. Um, oh, what's her name? Rodriguez. I can't think, but it's a great TV show. Patti LuPone's in it. So that's iconic. So that's kind of what I've been watching. I watched Beetlejuice, the movie, for the first time, and I also watched a film called Opening Night. I'm going to talk about Beetlejuice in like a separate podcast because I like musicals. I kind of want to talk about the differences between the movie and the film. Like I said, I also watched a film called Opening Night. Opening Night was pretty good. It was basically, it kind of like follows the opening night of a Broadway show, and it all kind of goes tits up, and it stars one of the guys from, oh my god, that sounds really bad because he is like known as the other guy from NSYNC. But it's got Leslie Margarita, who was the original Miss Wormwood for Matilda Broadway, and it's got some other people in it who I don't know who, but Leslie Margarita is, it's got Taye Diggs, who was in Rent, who was married to Idina Menzel, or like was with Idina Menzel. Oh my god, you can tell that I'm absolutely a theatre kid by all the trash I'm now talking about theatre. But let's find out who was in Opening Night. I want to say his name was like Chase, I don't know. Or JC, girl, let's find out. But it was a good fit, like it wasn't great, but it was like good. It was, girl, you need to watch it. It's on Netflix. Opening Night. Oh my god, girl, where's it not coming up? Opening Night movie 2017. 2016. Okay, it has, girl, who is it? JC Chase. There we go. And it's got loads of other people in it. Would definitely recommend watching it. It was pretty good. Was it good? I don't know. Would recommend watching it. But yeah, that's kind of been what I've been doing. I've been chilling with my mum, like I said. But yeah. What have I listened to? Maybe that would be a good thing to talk about. Oh my gosh. So I downloaded. Now, I love Beyonce. Beyonce is one of my all-time favourite artists, alongside Lizzo, Adele. You know, I'm a true gay man, loving all these absolute queens. So yeah, I re-downloaded the whole discography. Is that the right word? Discography, yeah, of Beyonce, and I've been listening to everything. One of my favourite songs is Party. Is it Andre 3000 that's featured in it? I absolutely love it. It's an absolute tune. I've been listening to Burlesque, that original motion picture soundtrack with Cher and Christina. I've been listening to Ariana Grande's Sweet and Alive tour album, Homecoming. I've been listening to some musical theatre albums. Company, I revisited that. Obviously it was meant to reopen on Broadway, but they had to close all their theatres, so I thought I'd have a little listen to that. What other things have I been listening to? Girl, that's a whole other thing we need to talk about. The theatres closing. Isn't that wild? I mean, it's obviously for the best, like, don't get me wrong, but I'm really worried about the industry. As I said, like, I'm a third-year actor looking to go into this industry, and, like, I'm just worried that economically it's just going to kind of, like, fall a little bit, which is really sad. The theatres are currently shut until the end of April. And then Broadway, they're shut for about the same amount of time, but they closed earlier than us. And I think on Broadway, they're projected to lose like $100 million, which is astronomical, like completely astronomical. And my heart goes out to every actor, front of house, crew member, anyone you name it. Like, my heart actually goes out to them. So yeah, and you know, all the external people, Spotlight, Equity, everyone who's kind of having to, you know, pause memberships, or, you know, agents as well. Like, I'm worried about a lot of agencies maybe not being able to cope because a lot of people being out of work, their main income is their actors. It's kind of wild, but you know, we've got to keep our fingers crossed and hope that it's all going to be okay. This is just a little break, just to let you know, if you do want to follow me or find me, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at TheLewisSnell. That is TheLewisSnell, TheLewisSnell. So I've just come back. I've just poured myself a drink. I've got a Pepsi Max, but most importantly, Boris Johnson. It's now 20:41. I've taken a little break, just because Boris Johnson has just made his announcement that Britain is going into, or the UK is going into a lockdown for the next 3 weeks at the least. so that we can stop the spread of the coronavirus. So that means that we can only go to shop for essentials, like necessities. We can go to get medical care if we do need to, but you know, they're saying keep indoors and stop the spread. Whilst we were watching it though, it was really sad because, I mean, I know there's bigger things and worse things that are happening, but he said about in public gatherings there can only be 2 people. One of my great aunties who died at 92, she's got her funeral coming up soon, which means, you know, there's only going to be 2 people that are able to be there, and more, I don't know, not more importantly, but something that really broke me was that Boris also announced that weddings have to be cancelled, and my mum just looked at me and she broke down in tears. For those that don't know, my mum is meant to be getting married on the 3rd of July, which is still a while away, but it's, you know, it's wild. We don't really know what's happening and the uncertainty, so, you know, that just made me a little bit sad. So yeah, I love my mum. I'm such a mummy's boy, but I do love my mum. So I gave her a little hug, and you know, it's going to be okay. She can still have a wedding, just maybe not when it's planned. But yeah, so the announcement has happened, and I'm back. So I guess this really is the start of the podcast of the real lockdown. So yeah, what a whirlwind we've been on since the start of this podcast. We're having bants and talking about me, and now, you know, it's gone cray. They also said you're going to do one form of exercise a day, like outside of your house, like going for a run or cycling or anything like that. And I was like, you know what, thank God that I don't do exercise. Not like that, like I do exercise, but like, girl, honey, you ain't going to catch me running. But I tell you what though, I had bought a skipping rope. When I say I bought a skipping rope, I bought it 6 months ago and never used it. I thought, well, not that I thought, I heard that skipping is the best way to lose calories, and I thought, let's get me a skipping rope and I'll become a skinny legend. I literally got it out of the packet and put it in my drawer and haven't used it. So I brought it home. I might use it over the next coming weeks, who knows, I guess we'll find out. But, you know, let's just hope for the best that maybe I use it. I do want to get into some kind of form of exercise though, even if it's like yoga, because we do yoga at drama school, so maybe I should get into that. If you've got any exercise videos that you watch, feel free to DM me them either on Twitter or Instagram or yeah, on them too. I was about to say Facebook, but that's a personal profile, kids. I mean, unless you're IRL friends, do you know what I mean, in real life friends, then feel free to DM me them. But yeah, so that's something that I should probably get onto. Also, is anyone just at that point of being so bored that they just want to eat? Oh my god, I'm so hungry all the time. I mean, I'm usually hungry all the time, but like, yikes. I'm gonna have a sip of my drink, one sec. Oh my Christ, Mick. You know what? I love Pepsi Max. Zara, my housemate, she also loves Pepsi Max, and she calls it the nectar of life, which honestly is pretty iconic. But yeah, earlier on I mentioned about that I cracked my head open 5 times, which is, I feel like, a light-hearted story that we should probably talk about. I say it's light-hearted, it's quite devastating. I cracked my head open 5 times, but yeah, it was when I was quite young, right? So I used to have this habit, like, I'm not a diva. God, this is going to make me sound so weird. Am I really saying this on a podcast? Okay, when I was younger, once I got pushed down the stairs by my cousin, and then at the bottom of the stairs was a radiator, and I smacked my head up against the radiator, and I cracked my head open. One time when I was really young though, I was such a needy little bitch that I think I just whacked my head onto the floor, and then I cracked my head open, which makes me sound like absolutely fucking weird, but it's the truth. The other times I'm not really sure how it happened. Maybe I just got really unlucky and smacked my head. But also, I've decided that I'm deaf in one ear, which I'm kind of like on medication for. Is that something we talk about on here? I don't know. Well, I'm not on medication. It's like a nasal steroid, but it's not really helping. So I got a follow-up appointment, and then maybe I need to get grommets, which, if you don't know what grommets are, they're these things they put in your ear, and I think they help you hear again. I don't really know. I had them when I was young, so maybe I need them again. I don't know. It's all a bit TMI. But I hope you're enjoying the podcast anyway. Just a bit of light-hearted fun. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep these episodes below 30 minutes, just so they're not too boring. I don't have too much to talk about as well, do you know what I mean? But yeah, if you do have any suggestions for things to talk about, do send them in, and we'll talk about different things. Like I said, I want to talk about films, TV shows that I've been watching, personal stories, maybe like when I came out. Maybe we can get my mum on here for that as well, and she can talk about it from her point of view. But yeah, I think this is coming to a natural close. Thank you for joining me, though, on the first episode of The Isolation Diaries, a collection of thoughts from a gay man and his friends. Hopefully soon we'll have some friends that will join in. But yeah, I hope you have a great evening, day, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Have a good one, stay safe, wash your hands. If you listen to this after the whole coronavirus epidemic, you know, we did it. But until then, wash your hands, stay safe, stay indoors as well, and you know, keep sending love to people that are on the front line, the key workers. They need it more than we do at the moment. We're doing good by staying in, but they're doing even better by, you know, battling this virus. So send massive love. If there's anyone around in your household, you know, that needs a bit of support, give them a bit of support, show them a bit of love, but make sure you keep that social distancing as well, and within reason. If they need a hug, I suppose you've got to give them a hug. But, like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Anyway, this has been The Isolation Diaries. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me over on TheLewisSnell on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, I think I did it. I think I did my first podcast alone. Wow. We've achieved something. Have a good one, guys. See you later.